Em 1970, Adilson e Amilcar Carvalhal fundam a Casa Flora. De lá para cá, a empresa cresceu, e muito. Isso porque tudo lá dentro era e é feito com muito carinho, honestidade e confiança.
Bem-vindo à Casa Flora, a loja que começou há 50 anos atrás. Na loja você encontra produtos de diversas localidades. As manteigas francesas, os parmesões italianos, os grana padanos. Você encontra a raclette suíça. Você encontra uma infinidade de coisas gostosas.
Mas na década de 90, durante esse crescimento, vieram os concorrentes. E com eles, a necessidade de se destacar.
Quando eu entrei aqui na empresa, em 89, como um atacado, você só vende praticamente preço. É pouco serviço e muito preço. E eu entendi que para a gente conseguir construir marcas e ter mais valor, eu tinha que buscar marcas lá fora. E aí nós começamos em 92 com Uva Paz. E eu sempre gostei de construir marcas. E aí, com isso, a gente começou a construir um nosso portfólio de vinhos. E esse portfólio de vinhos foi no momento certo, que foi quando o mercado de vinhos começou a dar um boom. A gente só traz marcas que a gente acredita e que dá valor, que provou já e que testou.
Produtos de qualidade que sempre estiveram nos catálogos, logo passaram a fazer parte do dia a dia dos brasileiros.
Privilégio realmente poder representar grandes marcas importadas, fazer com que a mesa do consumidor tenha aí essa variedade dos queijos, que foi exatamente onde iniciou a nossa essência. Então, a fábrica que fica num local onde se chama Flora se transformou numa grande escola para que a gente criasse essa nossa Casa Flora com essa multivariedade de produtos.
Hoje, a Casa Flora é referência e tem mais de 2.000 produtos de importação. Mas mais que isso, é referência por estar sempre um passo à frente, inovando no comércio de importados e na forma de deixar seus momentos especiais ainda mais inesquecíveis. E para celebrar os 50 anos de história, é claro que não poderia faltar evolução. Mudamos nossa marca.
50 anos é muita coisa. Portanto, é freguês, funcionário e fornecedor. E um T imenso, trabalho, um H imenso, honestidade, um U imenso, união. Que Deus nos abençoe e nos guarde e abençoe o nosso futuro.
E de uma coisa a gente tem certeza: nós não chegaríamos aqui se não fosse por você, consumidor. Obrigada por estar com a gente nestes 50 anos. Nós trabalhamos duro e queremos estar com você pelos próximos 50. Em 1970...
História da Casa Flora, né? Eu me chamo Márcio Campos, sou jornalista e fui convidado com muita alegria para facilitar essa comunicação hoje num dia de muita festa, de muita confraternização virtual, porque a Casa Flora completa agora 50 anos de existência. Olha, essa importadora, que é uma das mais diversificadas do país hoje, começou com uma pequena loja de queijo, depois se transformou num empório, vendendo latarias, sacarias, enfim, mas agora...
Several types of products that go across the oceans to reach the Brazilian tables. So I'd like to invite you and to commend this anniversary, 50 years anniversary, because after all, it's half a century of life. And that's not all companies that achieve this. So Neto is here with us, and Antonio Carvalhal Neto, actually, and also Adilson, who is Adilson Carvalhal Jr., who are the sons of the founders, both Neto and Junior, that's how they're called, by the suppliers, the clients, and friends. And that is why I would like them to welcome you also, you all who are now joining us in this anniversary from your house, from your home, from your work, this celebration that could not be done in any other way than entering your homes. So what a historical event, Neto. Yes, Marcio, it's a pleasure to have you here with us today. And it's a pleasure to be with all of you who are celebrating with us. Unfortunately, it's not the way we wanted to. We are a very warming company, but we have to respect the social distance very strictly because our priority is our health. And talking a bit about our history, it's a privilege to be here, going through all of this step, this transition, Marcio. So 50 years, that's a fact. And we wish for more 50 years. Thank you for your time, your tenderness, and your participation. Great, Junior, it's a joy, right, to be here with all of us. Congratulations to you, to Neto, to all of your family. Thank you, Neto. We're very happy. It was a very strange and different year, and to celebrate 50 years for us was an important challenge for us. We were very scared at the beginning of the year with so many uncertainties, but we're ending the year with health. And thank you very much, our employees, our partners, our clients, our suppliers, who are also our partners, and welcome, Flora family. As my father always said, the Flora family is here today to celebrate 50 years of history of the beautiful lives we have together. So, Junior Neto, congratulations once more. It's such a joy to be here with you at this moment. So, obviously, because of very evident moments, because of the pandemics, there's a person that cannot be here with us today, sitting between Neto and Junior, because this person is 79 years old. It's Sir Adilson Carvalhal. Sir Adilson Carvalhal, one of the founders of the Casa Flora. So, Mr. Adilson, you're at home quietly with us. But I would like you, Junior, I don't know why I have to ask you to present your Mr. Adilson. Why is that? Who is him? He. That's my father, and it's something that is very touching for me to talk about my father. He's not just an excellent father and a role model in all senses. He's also a man of great faith. He always prays for all of us. He talks always about clients, suppliers, and employees. He always talks about this triangle. He's very charismatic, and it's difficult to talk about him, but you know a bit about his story today in today's life. Okay, great. We'll listen to him a lot. He sent us several messages, but much more than Junior or Neto, Mr. Adilson himself should tell us how Casa Flora came about. I'm not sure if Junior and Neto know the exact day that Casa Flora was founded. Of course, they probably wrote it down in a piece of paper, but let's ask Mr. Adilson. Mr. Adilson, please. Well, I wanted to be a doctor, and I tried medicine school for 2 years. I couldn't, unfortunately. So I went to work with my father. You know, when you find out, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to work at the counter with my father. I really liked serving the clients. And that's when I thought this insight came of creating Casa Flora, because I already had a family, 2 children. Then I thought my dad's company is not very big, but how is going to provide for me, Antonio's family, and so on. So that's when I thought that I had the insight. It's a God's miracle. He said, create a company. Then I said, Dad, I had a dream. I'm going to create a company. I talked to Mr. Antonio, who is the owner of the property we are today, and I said, Mr. Antonio, I'm going to open a company, but I don't have any money. I'm completely broke, but I'm going to I have to create a company. And he said, Adilson, you're the son of Antonio Carvalhal. He's a wonderful human being. So You don't need to give any type of down payment or anything like that, okay? No, any type of collateral. Your father is a wonderful human being. You probably are today. So that's when I had the insight. I was completely broke, absolutely broke. And that's why when we opened Casa Flora, I got the shelf that my father-in-law, he worked in a newsstand. He had a newsstand, so I got the shelves of the newsstand he had and mounted it up on the store. And I said, Dad, I'm going to start the company, so I need some cans to show, to display on the store. And I also need some wheels of cheese. He said, you're really going to do that? And I said, yes. And then I started on June 1st, 1970. I don't even remember the Brazilian currency at the time. I remember I sold 400 whatever currency at the time. And that's when we began gradually, slowly growing. And I had all my clients from São Paulo, all my clients from the ABC and from the coast, of Santos Coast were my clients, because I sold several wheels of cheese that came from the Belo Horizonte region. It was impressive, the amount of cheese I sold at that time. Our company was doing well, but it was well structured but small. Well, what a story, how everything started. By listening to Mr. Adilson, this makes us want to become entrepreneurs. How do you evaluate Mr. Adilson's decision of actually setting up his small cheese company, and now Casa Flora, from a small cheese company, became one of the largest importers of the country? Well, I see that we have a very strong entrepreneurship strain in our family. So imagine my grandfather coming from Minas to São Paulo with 6 children, and then Adilson having this curiosity in him of noticing that with 6 children, it made sense for him to search some source of income. So my grandfather lent him some products, some goods, and that's how Casa Flora was found. And then our generation came. We had options in the labor market. We fell in love with this business, and now we have Casa Flora participating as one of the main import players in the food and wine distribution. I think it's in our blood, and thank God things are working out very well. Neto Jr., while we talk about the story of the history behind Casa Flora, there are some people here joining us at our channels to celebrate and to be with you and to listen to everyone here. So let's take a look. Let's see who are the first ones joining us and the messages they are bringing to Casa Flora. Hi, my name is Celso Massol, director of Editora 3. I'm responsible for Isto é Dinheiro, Globo Rural, Motor Show, and also write the blog Wine Tasting. I'm here to celebrate, to congratulate Casa Flora for the 50 years of existence, a family company I admire a lot, but always innovating, all now with a new distribution center, new installations, and of course, it's new e-commerce. An old demand for us that me was looking for excellent products in wine, food, and now we can find it in Casa Flora's website. I wish Neto Jr., their entire team, an excellent year to come, and excellent sales. So all the success to you, and I'd like to congratulate you once again for the 50 years. Hi, my name is Gui Terros. I am a journalist and digital influencer in Belo Horizonte. So I would like to wish happy birthday to Casa Flora, this company which is so important and so relevant. We are very proud of having a branch here in Belo Horizonte with really imported quality products, handpicked, and all these products that you import generate several amazing moments to our table. So for me, that's what Casa Flora is. So I wish you for more 50 years of story. Neto, my dear friend, I wish you all the success in the world. Hi, my name is Peter from Telenews, news portal regarding hotels, 18 years online. I'd like to congratulate Neto, Junior, Thais for the 50 years of Casa Flora importer. This company which brings so many news, so many products, quality products to the day-to-day of the hoteliers and those that appreciate high quality food, and also all the employees, the hundreds of employees that work in Casa Flora. And I'm very happy to be participating in this live of celebrating 50 years. Hi, my name is Pedro Med Souza. I'm a journalist. I'm a wine critic in Rio de Janeiro, and I edit food journalism for more than 20 years. Despite my age and so on, I would like to say that I know that Casa Flora is part of my history, not only in terms of bringing to me and through my channel, taking to the public some of the main reference that we had here in the last decades. We also have the chance of building knowledge with producers, with farmers, specialists, businessmen, abroad farmers, whether online or on-site, with a real journalistic interest that founded what today is the taste of Rio, and not only Rio, but of the entire Brazil. So Casa Flora is celebrating is for many reasons, not just for its anniversary. Hi, my name is Inês de Castro. I'm a journalist at Rádio Band News FM. I work with Humanamente and Dentro do Espelho. That's the name of my shows, and also another show, Linha do Tempo. Today we should talk about the history line of Casa Flora, 50 years. Congratulations, what a wonderful journey that you were able to trace with so many respect for your products, treating each one of them as their own children. This is called tradition, respect to your own story. I'd like to honor and pay homage to Casa Flora and wish that you have many, many more years, more than 50 more hundreds of years. That's what Casa Flora deserves, success. It's a great pleasure to be with you today in this day of celebration. 50 years in Brazil. Our anniversary is not that many companies that achieve that in Brazil, and a family company with special products is reaching this target. I hope for more 50 years that this family has their heirs that will proceed with this wonderful work of bringing quality products to the table of Brazilians. Wow, this is great, Neto, Junior, everyone joining us to celebrate with you. Ricardo was in Serra da Mantiqueira, I think, near Tamonte. That is a beautiful place. But what called my attention also, I was listening to all of them talking about all these years. Celson talked about a family that innovates. Neto, what's to innovate? What's a family that innovates? What does innovate mean? Well, it's an excellent and necessary word today.
Inovação,
I
ela
see
é
that
o
innovation
atrevimento,
is to
ela é a
dare,
inquietude
to be
sempre
curious.
esteve presente dentro da nossa
That
família.
has always been present in our
Ainda mais nesse
family,
mundo,
especially
hoje
in
nós
this
estamos
world
vivendo
that we
nesse
live
mundo,
today,
puxando aí algumas terminologias
where we
modernas,
have
esse
some
mundo VUCA, né?
this VUCA world is so much complex and ambiguosity. We notice that if you do not innovate, you lag behind because the consumer's expectation is much greater than it was before. References are much high in terms of standards. So talking about innovation, we also have to talk about technology, which is what is able to show us and provide views for us to take actions. But more important than technology, I would say our human condition, because that it's the human condition that decides, that makes technology work in our favor. So we have to think about innovation today. I was listening to our colleagues here talking about Casa Flora, but Junior, talk about Guy and Peter. I wrote their quotes. They said words such as quality products and very well selected. That caught my attention because they know what they're talking about, right? Because they are food critics, and so they know very well this business. How does Casa Flora select its products, especially what's going to import? Well, for us, Márcio, it's very important to bring products that we actually believe in. Casa Flora never brought products just to gain some money and then end the products. We want long-term branding. We want brands that we believe are high-quality brands. We always think about cost-quality relationships. That's very important for us. And always searching and seeking for new things. We're never going to stop this part. I believe that the consumer changes every passage. So sometimes you have less opening to new products. Sometimes there's more opening to these products, and that's why we're always thinking, because the consumer's table always has these great products we're bringing. So this curatorship is very important for us to continue our company and celebrate another 50 years. So I'd like to tell you guys who are joining us right now at Casa Flora's channel. So I'd like to welcome to this 50-year anniversary of this company, which has become an important importer, leading importer in Brazil. So stay with us to participate in this party. Junior was saying about two words that have extreme importance: select and choose. I imagine how hard it is to select and choose, but now I'm talking about something different, about choosing a name. How are you going to create a company and choose a name for it? It has to be something attractive, something that catches the attentions. How did Mr. Adilson Jr.'s father choose the name Casa Flora in 1970? Tell us, seu Adilson. Well, I said, can I say, Dad, can I put Casa Flora? Yes. And my dad accepted us of choosing Casa Flora. Our dad, he sold huge amounts of cheese. Nearly all São Paulo supermarket had the Flora cheese. We visited several of these supermarkets to see how they were, but they sold a lot. It was impressive how much the Flora cheese sold. Anywhere you went, any São Paulo supermarket you went, we had the cheese. So it's explained. So we would also like to pay homage to the Três Corações community in the city of Três Corações in the south of Minas Gerais, inspired Seu Adilson's farm, inspired the name that coined the products of this importer today. So now you are tuning in to the anniversary of a celebration of the 50 years of Casa Flora, and many people are joining us because they want to celebrate with all of us and to congratulate the entire Carvalhal family. So we have some more messages to see here. Oh. Hi guys, my name is Marcelo Copero. I'd like to congratulate Casa Flora for this 50 years of story. Thais, Junior, Neto, and all employees of Casa Flora, congratulations for building a beautiful story that have aggregated a lot to our wine market and the consumers. I wish you lots of success. Hi guys, my name is Ricardo Souza. I'm from Instagram, Bom Vinhos, Good Wine Instagram channel, and I'm here to congratulate Casa Flora Importer Company for its 50 years. Not all companies reach this mark, only those who work with very high quality products, excellent wines. We always have had a partnership, a great partnership, and to conclude this 50 years anniversary live, I'd like to wish you all the success in the world, Casa Flora Importadora, and that many, many more years to come. Hi, good afternoon. My name is José Bispo, known as Bispo. I work at Casa Flora since 1986 with the Carvalhal family. One of the owners, Mr. Antonio Carvalhal, a wonderful human being. His brother, Adilson Carvalhal. They were friends. They've become our friends. We always got along very well as Boston employees. We always spoke the same language. They always spoke directly to us, saying what's the best for the company. 35 years later, I'm here. Unfortunately, our dear friend, Antonio, who was today on the day-to-day, is no longer with us, but still, he left us 10 years ago, but I'm sure he's somewhere, and he leaves great fond memories and several friends. He was a person that we always talked a bit. It was really nice. Sometimes he would come to us and joke around with us. It was so amazing. So it was like he was one of us, and we start remembering the good things that we went through. So I would just like to thank God. I know he's in a good place. I know that the pandemic has made everything hard, but at the same time, we have to thank God for still being here, and the company's still here with his son, and I'm sure that the company has many years ahead. Thank you very much. Well, we just listened to Mr. Bispo, the store's manager. He was always with Mr. Antonio Carvalhal, who is the brother of Mr. Adilson Carvalhal. So now we would like to stop a bit now that the messages we're receiving of congratulations for family and Casa Flora, commemorating the 50 years of life, because I'd like to talk to Neto about Mr. Antonio. Neto, Bispo said how it was like to be on the day-to-day with Mr. Antonio. And Neto's name is Antonio Carvalhal Neto, which was the same name of your father and your grandfather. What was it like to be with your father on a day-to-day basis? Well, it was a great challenge. We're talking about human relationships. father and son relationships and professional relationships. My father was my great inspirer. Not just an inspirer, but a great challenger. He was always challenging me because that was how I understood he would teach me things. He wouldn't accept at all theory, the theory that we sometimes have when we're young, without experiencing things. So he always had a more explosive temperament, very demanding person, but I never saw, he had a huge heart. His joy, the joy of people that I know when they talk about my father, it's amazing how to see how tender they speak of him, how tenderly they speak of him, and I think that's one of the great values he left for us, for me, for my brothers and sisters. It was very inspiring to us to see his humility until the end of his life. Here on earth, he was always teaching me. One day I reached the hospital. I went to the hospital and he said to me, Neto, calm down a bit. Everything's okay. Everything will be fine. Don't be nervous. So that is when I thought, just imagine how I was having experienced his 2-year treatment, but it was part of his passage. So I noticed that until the end, he taught me that human nature is like this, and that we have to thank God that we have these teachings. So, Father, thank you very much. You are my hero. It's touching, and I thought here, we think of the history we have at home, and how our family and what we learn at home is very important, not only as professionals, but our personal lives also. But there are some more people to talk about Mr. Antonio. He has this great work that my beloved husband, Antonio Ailton Carvalhal, performed in Casa Flora during 58 years. During all these years, Antonio dedicated himself entirely to the company's growth and was renowned by his clients, who became friends, such as the image of Casa Flora. Years of hard work to develop the company, making it what it is today. It was his great pride that I, as a wife, shared with him. Casa Flora was his life. I remember very well that in the 58 years he would come, he only came to lunch at home only 4 days. He couldn't think of anything else that he could be doing. He stayed non-stop at the store. He fought several battles, but it was all worthwhile. Casa Flora today is synonym of success, which has always been his goal. He left us in a very early age, I believe. But his love of work, his responsibility were transmitted to our sons, Neto, Vinicius, and Gustavo, who today are part of Casa Flora, following the same steps of their father, their beloved father. We are very proud of their undertakings, of his achievements, and his love of Casa Flora. Congratulations, Casa Flora. Hi, good afternoon. I'm José Bispo. So Bispo has already talked to us. I would like to thank Mr. Bispo's participation, bringing Mr. Antonio's message. And why was Mr. Bispo with us? Because he brought this message to us. Because how many years he worked with Mr. Antonio? More than 30 years. Mr. Bispo, manager of this unit of Casa Flora. Yes, well, I'm 30 years in Casa Flora. I think Bispo is about 40 years already. Wow, he's longer than you. Yes, until today, exactly. So, Mr. Bispo, it's a joy to listen to you talking about Mr. Antonio. I imagine how gratifying it was to be part of his life. Mr. Adilson, let's listen to Mr. Adilson again to talk about his brother. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure, but I think it was Olive. Then Gil started working with us and saw we buying lots of imported products from the local market. Why don't we import? I said, no, I've never had any type of knowledge. I'm not familiar. I don't know how to import. I don't even want to know how to import. And then my son said, well, I think we should import. And he insisted on that, and it coincided when Collor opened the Brazilian market to the economy, the outside world. And that's why my son started importing, and it grew a lot. The great boom of Casa Flora was the import market, because the import operations, because then we were able to level up to our competitors. If we were only selling cheese cans, then we wouldn't have reached what we reached today. Only cheese store, we wouldn't be part of this boom. Our actual growth became through imports. So we are following Mr. Adilson, who is one of the founders of Casa Flora, bringing to us the information on the import operations. Because Casa Flora, it began as a small cheese store. Then it transformed itself to an emporium with some cans, sacks, and everything that could be sold behind the counter. Because I'm from the time of counters. And Junior, you have a very important participation in the story of the imports, and this happened in the 90s. And why? We had the opening of the Brazilian economy, and Mr. Antonio talked about this function. Why do you think it was important to have the import operations? Because we're already buying in a bulk amount from dry fruits, olives, especially olives, but we know we had potential. I saw we had potential to have greater economic strength if we bought directly from suppliers, from abroad suppliers, but it was a challenge because there was the currency problem. There was also another hurdles regarding the language, knowing how to import, knowing how to do that in an important format to actually transfer. It was a greater risk, so we were very worried about that. But he made a mistake in the video, okay? It was not with olives that we start. He loves olives, but we did not start with olives. We started with raisins in 92. I began in the company in 89, and I started wanting to import. I started talking to my dad, nagging my dad for us to import. I started traveling abroad, visit places for that, but the large change was when we started bringing other products such as wine, fine cuisine elements. That's what made Casa Flora actually transform itself and build a portfolio around 94 that made Casa Flora change. So it was raisin or olive? You have to explain this to us. No, it was raisins from a supplier called Miguel from San Juan, Argentina. He's a dear supplier. We have imported raisins from him for more than 20 years. and it was a great experience. We started with good suppliers, and that's part of success, because when you have quality, when you add quality from the first import, then the risk also reduces. So now let's talk about, I would like to invite some other people that came to participate in this celebration and open the channels, people that know a lot about olive and so on. Congratulations for the 50 years. Your team is amazing. I trust you very much, and you trust us very much. I hope more 50 years for you. Great success for the entire Casa Flora family, from all the Adelaida team. Azeite Oliva Oil Extra Virgin celebrates 50 years. For us, it's an honor to be part of this story. Thank you very much for a team that is excellent and very human, that allowed us to bring our products and a part of our Chile to the homes of several Brazilians. Let's continue for several other years. Congratulations, Casa Flora. Congratulations for your 50 years. Our entire team and the Leda family would like to celebrate with you and congratulate you. So I'm here to congratulate and celebrate with my friends, Mr. Adilson, the founder of Casa Flora, who has done amazing work for more than 50 years, and also Junior Neto, who are amazingly continue with the founders' work. So thank you very much, Familia Casa Flora, who throughout these 50 years have done an amazing work in the food industry and now in the wine industry, the beverage industry, to complementing its portfolio. So congratulations, Serginho, Ana Beatriz, Baby Beef. Hi, Casa Flora, importer. I'd like to thank you 50 years for Adilson and Mr. Antonio, who's in heaven. He's going to listen to us a lot. Congratulations for Mr. Junior, Mr. Neto. I really adore you, and Casa Flora is a reference. And thank you very much, because you represent the Just Endurance product. We're always together. Thank you for everything. The entire Carvalhal family, entire Casa Flora, workers, employees, it's a joy to be here with you and to work with you. Bye-bye. I like all of you. So, Neto, imagine how amazing and a joy it is to listen to all these suppliers, journalists. I was thinking about the olive and raisin story. It doesn't matter what was the first product, but actually it does make a difference for the story of Casa Flora. Well, what made a great difference for Casa Flora was a product that came in a very complicated and conflictual way to Brazil. Mr. Gilson is going to talk about this. So there was a time, there was ice across Europe. It was completely covered in ice. And Junior said, I'm going to Germany. And I said, aren't you crazy? Aren't you seeing the news? Some airports are closed because the amount of snow. But he said, no, Dad, I have to go to Europe. No, you cannot do that. All the airports are closed. It's risky. Snows. He said, no, I'm going to. So he took the plane and went to Germany. He decided that he was going to Germany. Are you crazy? In the entire Europe is covered in snow. The airports are closed, and he went to Germany. So what he felt in his heart is that this would be really good for us, and it was. That's how. A crazy journey against my will. But I said, well, it was against my will. As a dad, I thought, how can I let my son go there? But he did. He did. So just imagine the situation of Mr. Adilson saying, no, Dad, I'm going to Europe. What's wrong with you, Junior? Was it something that you actually knew was going to happen? Well, you have to be a bit crazy. You have to be a bit crazy. You cannot just do the basics. But what's actually, there are some curious details. It was nearly Christmas. It was December, a week before. A former importer who a friend of ours who worked with us later, saying that Paulander would change importers, and that was already closing with another importer. And he said, look, I can arrange a meeting with you, but it has to be on site. And I said, I can't. I'll send a file. No, you have to go there. And I said, okay, Dad, I'm going. No, I'm going. No, my wife. No. And then I went and I fought with everyone. It was nearly Christmas. My father feared that we lost this Christmas. And my flight was scheduled for London, but because of the climate problems there, I rove in Madrid, and I had the meetings with the Germans, and was very productive. He really liked looking us in the eyes and talking to us personally to show them who was Casa Flora, what are our plans for the brand, and it's one of our main brands today. And did you drink the beer there, or did you wait to import it? No, I drank it there. I went and drank it there. So, speaking of Germany now, let's receive the participation from Germany. Okay, now from Germany.
Querida gente de Casa Flora, de parte de la cervecería Paulana.
So I want to congratulate you for the 50 years from the story of the Brazilian market. We're very happy to be part of this magnificent path that you have had in Brazil, and I hope more 50 years. And I would like to congratulate you from Munich. Well, I want to congratulate Casa Flora for its 50 years. For you, it's a joy and it's a pride to share with you, because of the company that is so amazing as Casa Flora. Now I'd like to say that I have a really great and tender memory when Junior came to Mendoza 50 years ago, and with Alejandro, and when he came, he said something that was amazing to us, and it was a beautiful reunion between two families. And throughout these 20 years, we grew a lot. Our partnership grew a lot, always based on hard work, effort, professionalism, and honesty. So we'd like to congratulate Carvalhal family, Casa Flora, and everyone that's part of the Casa Flora group. Cheers.
A Casa Flora está a fazer 50 anos. É meio século de história. Meio século.
So not only you have clients and suppliers, you also have gained the hearts of everyone, especially the Carvalhal family. In these 50 years, Casa Flora became one of the leading Brazilian importers, and it's a joy to celebrate this with you. We want this partnership to continue, and that in many, many years to come, I can say we are partners of Casa Flora. So, dear friends of this great family, Casa Flora, I'd like to congratulate you for this 50 years of great success. This is Fernando from Porto a Porto. We are about 18 years together now. We were able to admire this entire family of employees, partners, and this beautiful Carvalhal family. So I wish you lots of success. So talking about Casa Flora in these 50 years is an honor, a great joy. Porto a Porto has been working with Casa Flora for about 27, 28 years. Before that, we already provide something for we're suppliers, but from the time that Casa Flora's office was on top of Santa Rosa's shop, great times, Mr. Antonio, Mr. Adilson, Junior, Neto, and everyone from the Carvalhal family. Today, this is the book I was given by the Carvalhal family of the 40 years of Casa Flora. But now we have 50 years, and it's important to know that we will have more 50 years. So I'd like to congratulate the entire team of Casa Flora, its board, its employees, and also suppliers and clients. Porto a Porto is part of this also. So, congratulations. Junior and Neto, Pedro showed us that the book that you launched has become something that is very rare. We don't have the 50-year book, but we have this live that will be here, stored for more 50 years. But Neto, Junior, I wrote down here, as I was listening to all your partners, and I wrote down here from Mr. Messias. Mr. Messias is the president of Carve Messias, okay. So I wrote down, he said, and I quote, one of the best importers of Brazil. That's what Mr. Messias said. And then I imagine, guys, you began as basically a really small shop and becoming a large importer. So imagine the headache of the hardships of leaving Brazil when you don't have technology, communication, going abroad to the other countries to bring a product to import. Junior, you began the import story. Were some doors closed? Did you experience this? Yes, several doors were closed to us. But way before that, I had to find the door. I had to find the supplier. Because in the 90s, today you click on the mobile, you go to Google, and you can find the company. You have all the information available, but it wasn't like that in the 90s. Many times I reached hotels on certain cities I wanted to target. I had to look at the list directory, the telephone directory, to try to find the address to schedule a meeting. It was very difficult. But doors closed were in several fair markets. When I started going to fair markets, 95, 98, two large fairs, I would go to the stand. They looked at me, said, Brazil didn't have great relationships with the world at the time. And he said, no, I don't want to sell to Brazil. It's not my focus. So it was difficult. It was difficult because of the unknown that we represented. But it was very challenging and curious, and that's why I insisted. I insisted a lot because, thank God, these people that are talk today to us, they are very important, and it's much more than a professional relationship. It became a personal relationship, and I have friends throughout the world. And has inverted? Do people now knock on your door? Yes. Now, thank God, people knock at our door, and sometimes it's difficult to just welcome everyone. That's why we have to select. Yes, like we said before, select the products. Yes. And Junior, while you were talking, I was looking at Neto, and we were here at a showroom of Casa Flora. I was taking a look at some products and imagining what you do to go after and select these products, do this curatorship of knowing what to put on the table, the table of Brazilians and your shelves. But in view of all this, all the imports, Mr. Adilson, Mr. Antonio, the Carvalhal brothers, they always talked, they always taught you something, right? And Mr. Edilson tells us a bit about that. So, Mr. Edilson, please tell us, everyone, the entire world, what is his life philosophy and what he and Mr. Antonio always ask the family in this business. We always wanted, everyone talks about their first contact with Casa Flora. You're going to sell a product to Casa Flora, they need to know who is Casa Flora. So Casa Flora is the name we have, and it's a good name. So we went to all the grape plantations for wine making in Europe. I love all of them because what I learned from them in Spain, Portugal, Argentina, Chile, I can only thank and say that they are my friends and appreciate them as suppliers and friends of Casa Flora. They are friends of Casa Flora. Our clients are friends of Casa Flora. Our relationship goes beyond trade relationship. It's always friendship. All the shoppers, all the food shoppers, all the food sellers in São Paulo, in Santos, all of them are my friends. Relationship is very important. Knowing how to talk and not lie. Always be honest. Because you start lying and things become out of hand. Always say the truth. Saying the truth is very important. Very important. No lying, no trying to take any type of advantage. So you have to try to do things the right way. And work hard. So Casa Flora, thank God, we have a very good standing in this 50 years. We never had any type of lawsuits. And we get on well with all suppliers because the client wants good products, and the supplier, we have to have a relationship, a professional relationship with the suppliers that is proper. We never had any type of problems with payment. Never. Like a protest, never. Never, thank God. We always try to do things the right way. And so that our name will still be in good standing. It's not worth it not to be in good standing. Mr. Edilson, I can only tell you on behalf of everyone that's watching, thank you. Thank you, because what you have just told us, and you say in your family, in your company, is a teaching that we don't find in school, in college, but we find it at home. And how good it is to know that all other families, such as our family, have this philosophy of life, doing everything the correct and proper way. And that is why, Mr. Edilson, so many suppliers, clients are here today with us. So more messages here to celebrate these 50 years of Casa Flora. We are from Rede Hortifruti, and we have a partnership with Casa Flora. We wish to you a long life and many business. I would like to thank this wonderful, amazing group, Casa Flora, Casa Flora family, for its 50 years of work, wonderful work on favor of the food market in Brazil. So thank you very much for the love, for the tenderness that you have always provided to us and to our market, which is the food market. My name is Carlos. I represent Casa Sagres. I'd like to congratulate Casa Flora and everyone that is part of the structure for their 50th anniversary. And I would like to say that this partnership is amazing, and I hope we continue partnerships for more than 15 years to come. So thank you all who are part of this amazing structure. Casa Flora, congratulations for your 50 years, for the beautiful journey, which is the fantastic team has been part of. I'm from Cantalupa, Ilupi, and it's an honor to be your partners, and I enjoy and I wish you all the success for many more years to come. Hi, my name is Eric Momo from 1900 Pizza House, and it's a joy to tell you that Casa Flora is very important in our story, and celebrating 50 years is not all companies that are able to have 50 years to celebrate, so it's amazing. Hi, my name is Sergioana. I'm a cuisine chief. I'm a chef, and it's a joy and an honor to celebrate Casa Flora's 50 years of life and 35, 36 years of partnership with us. They are real partners. Thank you very much, Casa Flora, for everything. And we hope to continue being our partnerships until we give up. And we salute you. Cheers of Neto Junior. I hope that we continue being friends and partners forever. I'm Carlos Tateno, Chief Commercial Officer of Tateno Supermarkets. I like to celebrate the 50 years of Casa Flora and 20 years partnership with our supermarket. We began with wines, cheese, pasta, and some other products that I can't remember now, but I'd like to also congratulate Casa Flora's board. Congratulations for your 50 years. Mr. Tateno, I also like to congratulate. Well, I'd just like to say you talked about several products. From what I know, it's more than 2,000 items sold in Casa Flora. But what caught my attention here, guys, I think that Carlos, Eric, they recorded from in their cars, but we should say that the cars was not. They were not driving, yes, they were parked. So that's very important to mention. So some people stopped what they were doing, like driving, just to send you a message, correct? That's amazing. Well, Mr. Carlos Tateno also congratulates you guys, applauded. We have many more professionals working in the cuisine market, clients, suppliers, and food journalists. Let's take a look.
Juntamente com toda a equipe, eu quero parabenizar a Casa Flora pelos 50 anos de grande história no Brasil. Para nós, é uma honra fazer parte dessa parceria. Nós desejamos que os próximos 50 anos se multipliquem as conquistas e que seja o melhor do melhor. Um grande abraço para toda a família Casa Flora.
Congratulations. We'd like to thank the great family Casa Flora, and that in 50 years we continue celebrating with you, and we congratulate you here from Portugal, and Merry Christmas. I would like to thank Casa Flora. I would like to celebrate Casa Flora for its 50 years, of which 50 years I have been part of, first as a buyer of large chains, then as a partnership supplier of wines, most recently with the brands Nieto Senetiner and Carlos Wines. All my relationships with Casa Flora were involved in honesty, transparency, and partnership, and that is what moves the company, which builds it and will take it to several more years ahead of success. Continue the way you are. Thank you for everything. From Santa Catarina, we celebrate your anniversary. We'd like to congratulate you for your 50 years. We consider that 50 years of path is the reflect of work, dedication, efforts, and great delivery. We hope that our partnership continues growing because it's very gratifying to be part of a story for more than 22 years. Our best wishes to the future and for our union and collaboration to continue strong. So thank you very much. I'm a professional journalist for more than 50 years and for 30 years specializing in food. That's when I met Casa Flora. That is why I would like to, I've been with Casa Flora for 30 years and I witness its growth and its improvements. And it's impressive how Casa Flora, today one of the most modern importers of Brazil, is able to maintain the same quality on the selection of its products with competitive prices. These are characteristics that are that are rooted. I'm sure that it was rooted on the founder Antônio Pereira Carvalhal and now followed by his heirs, Júnior and Neto, who I learned how to admire. I wish you many years ahead to come. This last one, who ended this trajectory of messages, I can even call Dias Lopes one of the most renowned journalists, food journalists here in Brazil. He's the father of dear Adriana, who's also a journalist, who I work with already, but Dias Lopes, who know you very well, and that is always paying attention to the improvements and growth of Casa Flora, only said good things. How is it to listen to appraisals from critics? Because sometimes you get a bit weary, right? I mean, there are critics, but he's here just saying good things. What is it like in this sense? Well, it's a great responsibility. We're talking about a journalist that works in the area for more than 50 years. And what we have as a responsibility is to understand that this responsibility became admiration and then recognition. But at the same time, we prepare ourselves to be criticized because the critics are what make us grow. Thank you, Dias, for recognizing us, for all the recognition you gave us. And it's a great challenge just to make our products and brands to surprise our Brazilian consumers. Thank you, Neto. Neto, Junior, I don't know if I wrote it right, but I think it was Juan from Santa Catarina that said a bit before Dias. I wrote 3 words that he said: effort, dedication, and efficiency. That Juan set up during his participation that Casa Flora is the result of all of this. And in fact, for all Casa Flora, for reaching 50 years, it was not easy. Actually, many of people think the neighbor's grass is always greener, but they don't know that the neighbor wakes up really early to water the grass, to remove the weeds. It's great effort and dedication is involved in all of this. And talking about this, Mr. Agilson knows very well what superation and dedication means. He's going to tell us a bit about that, one of the difficulties he experienced in 50 years. Well, several floods. You can imagine how many floods we experienced. We lost so many products to floods. Thank God. South America, same thing. Argentina, same thing. Thank God. And I pray every day to God for Casa Flora, for the company, because we know that it's difficult and it's dangerous. You you cannot become a bad name because you're not going to pay because you lost the product to the flood. I mean, it's difficult, you know. So I pray a lot so that we can keep going. Myself, my wife, Casa Flora is always in our prayers because we need the protection of God. Things that depend on us, but some things don't depend on us. Yes, please, Lord, help us. A Paganini also. Well, a story that I know from Paganini, I can't think of anything. I think Junior knows this brand, Paganini, and it worked really well. Thank God, everything's great in terms of what we receive, we try to give back. So in Spain, wow, in Spain, Portugal, Argentina, Chile, wow. It's just amazing. Our relationships are amazing with these countries, and it has to be. And it has to be. If you bought from us, you have to pay us. Oh, but there was a flood. I don't care. You have to pay. We'll manage. We'll figure it out, but it has to be paid. There was once the flood was so high. The level of the water was so high, and we had a container to avoid the water from entering. The water went above this container, and when I left the place, when I left the company, I thought, God, what are we going to do now? I'm just working like crazy. But then there was a time I said, there's nothing else to do. When I jumped to the street, I saw the flood. It was really strong. It was really strong. If I didn't know how to swim, I would probably have drowned. Then I started swimming against the flood, holding on to the things that I found on the way. What Mr. Gilson said, I always remember of my childhood. My father had a bar restaurant in Cruzeiro, and when we had floods, but it was not like what Mr. Gilson said. Do you remember that, Junior? I remember what my parents went through with their bar. Do you remember this episode, this event? Well, I don't remember the specific day that he swam against the flood, but I remember some floods that represents to us. It's weird. We want to use an example, but we're saying we're living a difficult time, so we could say that the flood in a certain way is like the pandemics. It represents the difficult times we always are going to experience, that we have to believe in God, because believing in God things become easier. But it represents, because you lose a lot in the floods. It's something that you cannot control, and that you lose a lot of products. And Casa Flora experienced many flood products, but thank God we always believed in God and had faith in God to overcome all of this. Neto Junior has talked about something that is always present here in our celebration, which is to overcome things. But what about today? What's the main challenge today of Casa Flora, of your family, cousins, children? What do you see that today needs to be overcome? Well, Márcio, I think that the challenges, they are daily challenges, and we don't choose the challenge. We resolve the challenge. We take risks. With our curiosity, we transform our curiosity into results. And I'm sure that these challenges that I share with you, this challenge, we were only able to overcome. We will only be able to overcome the other challenges we will face with the participation of all our suppliers. Gilson talks a lot about that. of how we have to deal with our suppliers, our employees, clients, family members who believe in us, who believe in our decisions, and in the communicators who make what import actually makes sense to the consumer. So I think that it's a joining of responsibilities that make the situation become something good and reap good results. And during this entire period that we face several economic plans, high exchange rates, low exchange rates, rate variations in our currencies. We talked about the past. The flood is a fact that is very tangible, that we are able to show through pictures, for example. But we talked about our current challenges, and we have more 50 years to come, you have said. How do you expect the 50 years to come? You'll be 90, right? Nearly 90. But I hope that we will be able to overcome also this challenge. So imagine that I've been 30 years in the company. When I joined the company, I was 20. The company was 20. It has its culture. And now we have several families, and this flood events, I know that Junior will remember this, of several floods that we've been through, that we had to actually overcome those floods. So if there's a word I believe that we can take ownership of, is resilience. And we count with the partnership of all our employees because they make the difference, our suppliers believing us, and our clients to understand that we are there to complement their businesses. So it's overcoming all obstacles every day, waking up and nearly putting a glove and this energy so that our purpose is in fact reached. You said you were 20. I wasn't able to understand how old you are, but you tell me later, okay? Let's change subjects. Okay. Junior, what do you think of the 50 years to come? Probably several challenges, yes? Because of everything we have talked about so far. But can you think of any challenges you think you will face? Well, I'll be in January, I'll be 32 years in the company. So it's very difficult for us, for example, especially in a country like ours, to foresee 50 years ahead. But there are some important tips. I think that a company, even if they're 50 years old, it has to always be innovating, up to date in terms of management, modernized in terms of management, internal processes, and people that do things with love, and not just be here because it's here. Casa Flora is a very warming environment. Of course, sometimes you're in a bad mood, sure, but we have to work with love, and those that have worked with us, full of love, have brought us so far, and we'll have more people that will work with love. So I really believe in human relationships and how we conduct this Flora family, as my father taught me how to cite since the first day I was here. Yeah, values. We're talking about values. So do things without liking, I don't think provides good results, and we believe a lot, and for us it's very important to understand the proposals that people have. Sometimes several brands, we had opportunities of working with them, but if behind those brands, behind these products, you didn't feel a kind of empathy, then it was complicated, because that's something that it's a characteristic of ours to value people. And several companies, and that's why we have a very long-term relationship. We have several long-standing relationships with our suppliers and clients. It's a characteristic of Casa Flora that make people really identify with us. And I think that you also, right? Because when we met, right, Marcio? Yeah, well, Neto. When I heard about Casa Flora first time, if I'm not mistaken, was in a wine tasting, because, you know, I'm an adventurer in the wine. I like learning. I wouldn't call myself as an enologist, but I went to a wine tasting event in a great plantation, the Anieto. Wasn't there House Anieto in Jardins? Yes, exactly, near Unique Hotel. If I'm not mistaken, that was the first contact I had with Casa Flora to participate in this wine tasting event, and that's when I realized that you don't work the product, you don't work the brands, but the quality of the product, sure, but the history behind the product. And I started understanding that the wine world is a lot to do with it, and I started understanding this much more when I met you. You were born in São Paulo, I know, but your origin is Serra da Mantiqueira, Minas Gerais. So we are from the same region. That's why I identify myself a lot. That have the same accent, that are from the interior. So it has to do with the identification. And is that like that when you're going to buy a product, the identification with the producer, with the farmer? Yes, of course. We value a lot simplicity. We value a lot. When we are going to see a specific eye, we try to make it a way that wine has to be affordable. We believe wine has to be consumed in a very informal way, like we're doing here. We're putting a glass of wine on the tables so that will be the complement of something, which is to eat, to make eating more pleasant. So it has to be transported like this to the consumer. That's how we think. That's how we act, with simplicity. Okay, and talking about simplicity, I have a message that is so short and so simple that talks about the future. You talk about the 50 years, and now there's a person here that is going to come to talk about how she understands the future will be. Casa Flora, 50 years of Casa Flora is growing toward the future. I would like to thank for being part of this team. Congratulations, Casa Flora. Yes, exactly. Rogerinho is amazing. He's amazing. He has the habit of writing small messages with positive messages, but today's bilhetinho, Rogerinho's message came through an electronic message. Rogerinho is a strong person, yeah, yes, Rogerinho. I believe that he's a light. He has working in our office in São Paulo. He works in our HR department, and it's amazing how he's able to communicate with all the areas in a way that the areas identify themselves in a way that they become even more deep. So several times he reached our table and said, Neto, I have a message to you. And it is a message, it's a letter he brings to you. He's a very he's very cult. He's very well educated. And then I ask him. He asks me, "Can I read it?" And everyone stops to listen to what he's going to read, and it's very inspiring. So, Rogerinho, now I'm going to send you a message. Thank you for existing. Thank you for your life, and thank you for you to participate with us in our story in this 50 years. Thank you very much. Rogerinho is exceptional. He's the name of where my father lives. We go to the same church, and everything that Neto said, he's always going to trying to inspire people, an inspiring source. Sometimes he enters a meeting, and when he enters a meeting, it's not to make things awkward. It's just to bring a message, to add good things to the meeting. He's a very unique human being, and I hope that all employees that are joining us, that he loves the company as the way Rogerinho loves our company, and we love you too, Rogerinho. Rogerinho, I also want a message, okay? I also want a letter. Now, I also want a letter from you, Rogerinho. So,
olhando o relógio aqui no bolso aqui, o relógio de bolso é vô que tinha, né? Meu avô deixou relógio lindo, rapaz, de bolso, é uma coisa maravilhosa. Mas nós estamos aqui falando
we are talking about the future now, 50 years. Rogerinho talked a bit.
Vocês acham que ele ficar fora?
Now, Mr. Adilson wants to talk about the 50 years to come. Well, I don't know if I'll be alive, but I hope that Casa Flora continues to be as it is today. Trying not to make mistakes. Of course, it will make mistakes, but at least try not to make mistakes. Not be greedy, without any type of greed, gradually, as it has always been. Balance, thinking well before making decisions. So do things gradually and with lots of prayers, and have your head in place. You might not be proud of things. Humility. We are all the same. We're fragile. We make mistakes the same way. 50 years, as I said, I believe in God, and I thank God for 50 years. It's something that makes me very happy about this company, is that we are a unity, is that we have a good name, and Família Carvalhal, the Carvalhal family, is very united. My parents were amazing. They left Itamonte and came to São Paulo. But yes, I like it to continue as it is. Yes, well, 50 years to come, Mr. Adilson. I would like to know from you, maybe more 50 years, I think. I think we'll be around in another 50 years, right? So now we're here. We've sat down at the table because not only Neto, Adilson, Junior, this family company, and also it's a family company and professionalized family company, as Neto and Junior said. So now we're on the table because not only Neto and Junior, we have a team here of executive officers that help build this company. So here we have Thais, Vinicius, Fernando, and Gustavo. I'd just like to make it very clear to you that are not very intimate, but there are three brothers from each side. Three from Mr. Gilson, three from Mr. Antonio, and they all participate in the executive board of Casa Flora. So I'd like to know from them. Thais, for you, Thais, how would you define Casa Flora, this family company and professionalized at the same time? Well, Márcio, for me, Casa Flora is a great family, a large family. We worry a lot about people. Its human side is very strong, but it's always seeking to evolve, transform. So we would like to hope for more 50 years, and I'm very happy of being part of this. And it wasn't easy to make Thais talk today, because she's good at marketing. She's very good at marketing. So let's celebrate the 50 years, and they made her talk. Okay. And now it's Vinicius. Well, Vinicius is your brother. Yes. My cousin. So Vinicius, Neto, and Gustavo. Vinicius, how is it to you, Vinicius? How do you see the moment we're living of your father, your uncle, of this built story? How would you define all of this? I think it's a large challenge. It's a great challenge of the success they had when they were at the beginning of the business, our parents and now us. So I think that we have to accept, and we have accepted this large challenge. No, you cannot stop. 50 more years, yes, 50 years or more, exactly. Fernando? How would you define? You didn't combine what you were going to say, right? Great. No, we're very spontaneous. Okay. Well, I see Casa Flora always trying to take to our clients good moments of joy, celebration, of this amazing portfolio we have here. And I think that what motivates us is to see the clients satisfied with the products, with Casa Flora's products. So it's a great joy to say that I work at Casa Flora. For all my friends, as I say when I say I'm from Casa Flora, the products we work with. So that's it, Márcio. And it was really emotional to see my father in the life. Dad, I love you. So it's 8 months. Yes, I saw him because I stayed 5 months on the beach with him, with my family, my children. So I stayed a while with him. And did you know that, guys? Okay. What about you, Gustavo? Are you the youngest? Yes, I'm the youngest from Antonio's side, as you can see. Yes, well, we have a company that is very welcoming and very respectful and very much united in terms of employees, clients, and suppliers. I've been 20 years in the company, and it's a huge pleasure to celebrate this 50 years with my brothers, my cousins, and all our partners. That's a big responsibility, yes. Yes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And with the same registration number, 50 years with the same registration number. And some companies have the same, but it's not easy to keep this, right? So let's do it like we did it.
Estão tudo ali
Mr.
do lado
Antonio's
ali?
children.
Então são os três
Okay.
do seu Antônio. E aí o Júnior mais os dois aqui
And then
do seu
Junior
Adilson, né?
and
Então ficou
Mr.
três de cada
Adilson's.
lado.
Okay.
Tá bom. Olha, uma alegria
So
ter aqui
it's
com
great
vocês
to
também.
be with
Ficaram
you
acompanhando a
guys
gente quietinhos,
here
né? Porque o Júnior e o
because
Neto
Junior and Ethel like to talk more, right?
É?
Yes,
Tá certo.
okay.
Vamos dar sequência
So,
aqui, porque como a gente tá participando nesse
because
momento
we're
de uma festa,
participating
né,
at a
esse
party
campeonato
now,
sonoro, uma bodas de ouro, tem mais gente
there are
querendo
more people
parabenizar
wanting
vocês,
to
né?
congratulate
Mas em
you.
toda festa que
But
tem
in
vinho,
all
tem que ter água
in
também,
all
né?
birthday
Vamos tomar uma aguinha, né?
parties
Mas antes de eu
that we
chamar a
have
próxima
wine, we also
participação,
need
Júnior, eu queria
water.
saber de você,
But I'd like to know
história
from you,
essa de
Junior.
distribuir
What
água.
about
Casa Flora
distributing
distribui
water?
água. Como é que é isso?
Casa Flora is now a water distributor? Well,
Tem que ser criativo,
we
né?
have to be creative, right, Marcio? And through such a basic product like water that you can have at a very regular price, we are able to find an iconic product, right? You see in all restaurants, in all hotels, in the entire world. So it was to import us luxury brands, but affordable at the same time, that opened several doors. So we have to think beyond the product and think everything that it symbolizes. And water is this symbol. So you're distributing water. Is that correct? How was this? Oh, yes. But through Voss. Voss has a project that's really beautiful. The entire part of everything that it sells, there's a part of it that it takes water to people that do not have access to drinkable water. Marcelo chose a beautiful place to send a message to you. Let's take a look. Come on, Marcelo, let's hear you. Well, Casa Flora, together with Voss, we are congratulating you guys for the 50 years. Thank you very much for distributing water throughout Brazil, hydrating everyone. Again, I'd like to thank you all for being able to participate with me on that amazing campaign, which was to distribute water and donate the waters. You are fantastic. So thank you again. And that you continue for many 50, 100 years ahead. So myself and Voss team, we would like to congratulate on your anniversary and continue with you. Casa Flora, I'd like to wish you, all of you and each one of you, congratulations for the first 50 years of this incredible company. For me and my company, White and Macanama, it's a pleasure to be part of this great family. So thank you for each one of you, and we hope to continue working with you for many, many years to come. For the following 50 years, congratulations and cheers. Congratulations, Casa Flora, for your 50 years. I know it was hard. I imagine it was a hard path, but you were able to modernize, innovate, and we have been working for many, many years. And throughout these years, I found that we have the same value, we share the same values, and we will proceed like this. Thank you very much. Junior, the entire team. Thank you, Casa Flora team, especially my dear friend Neto, for your 50 years. I know that were 50 years of great dedication, lots of work, and lots of success also. Today, you're not only partners, but you're great friends of the pizza house Camelo. I hope you have more 50, 60 years, 100 years of success. Mauricio and Sandra from Zona Norte. Casa Flora is the Brazil that works. More than 50 years, Casa Flora revolutionized the way Brazilians feed. It democratized the access to differentiated elements and showed that cooking is not that hard. And we always wish you the best of success. Happy birthday. We are very proud of participating in your histories through our business articles. Hi, My name is Susana Barelli, and I'm a wine journalist in Brazil. Before writing about wines, I was an economy journalist. And during this period, I covered several economic plans, wrote several texts about changes in our currency and in our laws. So I learned how to value the companies to are able to close the year without any type of debts. It's very difficult, and it's a reason to be very proud of these companies. So I like to choose with a wine that is in their portfolio for the 50 years, and wishing that many, many more 50 years ahead to come.
Eita, depois da participação da
Wow,
Suzana,
thank
nós
you.
estamos
After Susanna's
separados na
participation,
mesa? Vocês não viram o que ela
aren't you
falou?
going to cheer
Tem
also?
brinde aí?
So cheers, guys. Cheers, guys.
Sim. É verdade que dá azar se não tomar depois de brindar? Mas eu posso tomar.
Pra mim dá azar.
É mesmo? Mas eu posso tomar então, vocês vão ficar bravos comigo, né? Então, ó. Saúde. Muito bem.
Great.
Olha, bom, eu vou dizer para vocês que por enquanto é a melhor parte.
So for now, this is the best part of the celebration, because now we actually began the celebration. I don't know why it took so long to celebrate. It was Susanna's.
Pelo amor de Deus, produção.
It was Susanna's fault. Next time, guys, put Susanna at the beginning, okay? And also the second and third
Olha, que
block.
alegria, né? Gente,
What a great joy.
momento intenso.
So it's an intense moment. We listened to Mr. Gilson,
ouvimos essas pessoas
also